back here at GOMTV.net. We're doing the Season 2 of StarLeague, and we have a very exciting match coming up here, Artosis.
JangBi against Fantasy, a rematch of multiple league finals in Starcraft 1. The 5th and 6th best players from Starcraft 1 of all time are going to go at it tasteless. They're both looking absolutely fantastic, taking out two of our best Zergs ever in Starcraft 2, Kong Ho and Light, right? No question about that. Two of our best, most accomplished Zergs. So they're looking fantastic, and now we get to see this great rivalry come to life once again in Starcraft 2.
It's gonna be pretty awesome. You and I are both thinking that JangBi's gonna win. Fantasy could. I wouldn't be blown away if Fantasy wins.
No. I mean, it's best of one. Anything can happen. You get like a lucky drop. Protoss gets out of position for 1 second, you can die. Same can be said with Terran. You don't play your SCVs just in the nick of time for a quick rush, you're dead.
That's all there is to it, you know. It's going to be interesting. By the way, JangBi's play style in that last game, the first game we had today, was really weird.
Yeah.
I really want to know if he's going to do something similar to this here in this matchup right now with PvT.
He could. You know, with the new Warp Prism, the Warp Prism's a lot better than it was, man. It's not, it still has that speed upgrade, of course, that makes it a little bit faster, but it's so fast right now. You can definitely, JangBi liked his Reavers in StarCraft 1.
He's some of the best Reaver usage I had ever seen.
We could definitely see Colossus harassment, Immortal harassment, maybe just straight up Zealots. Could be Sentries.
We've had these moments a few times where we see the Warp Prism being used like the shuttle and the Reaver. But it seems to always die out shortly after we cast a game like that. Yeah. So I'm wondering if somebody like JangBi can kind of solidify that in the metagame.
He could. I'm really excited actually to see what he does. I kind of feel like he definitely is going to go Robo. I'd be very surprised if he goes Twilight Council. This is more of a Robo man.
Yeah, so we'll see. Early on in Wings of Liberty, we saw in PvP the usage of Immortal drops, which I think nobody ever expected that to be a thing. But it's
very powerful, though.
Well, it's funny because, it makes sense when you look at it. The Immortal, it kills workers in 2 hits.
Yeah.
So if you have 2 Immortals, you can just drop them in the guy's worker line and actually kill off a lot of workers.
Think about this as well. Even if you can't get near the workers, you grab the add-on that's getting stim 1 time. Do you know how good that is?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You get a couple reactors. Oh, my God. Really powerful things. And the thing is, the Immortal is not a bad unit to have in your army.
Well, you know what's funny about the Immortal, and this is at least my theory. I would like to see what you think about this, but it's like when Blizzard designs a unit and they tell its audience, the people that are going to be playing the game, what the unit is used for, and then you can find out that unit can be used for something completely different. For instance, the Reaper. In early Wings of Liberty, basically the beta, the Reaper was just this unit that could scout and harass, but it turns out if you get 18 Reapers in a ball together, due to their range and how cheap they are, you can actually you have a big death ball that can jump up and down cliffs and stuff like that, so then modify that. But the Immortal, out of all the units in the game, to me, is the one that has so many interesting parts to it. It's for ways it can be used.
Yeah, it's one of the most interesting units in my opinion as well.
Yeah.
It's such an investment to get one, but not too much of an investment. And you really have to think about, do I want 1 Immortal? There's times where you want 1. There's times where you want 2. There's times where you want 6. Okay, there's every number has a place where you have to really think and rack your brain like, do I really want this 3rd Immortal, or do I use my robotics building time and my gas, my minerals somewhere else?
It's so cool to see StarCraft 2 continue to develop, the metagame shifting, and it looks like the countdown has now started. So get ready for this sick match here. We have JangBi and Fantasy in rank 5 and 6 from StarCraft 1. Some of the best StarCraft players of all time about to duke it out here on, what is their map, Newkirk Precinct?
Yes, it is.
All right, and there is a small chance here that we might actually have to put the camera back on us. I believe we have one of the players dropping from the game.
It looks like it. We'll probably just have to end up restarting.
Yeah, I think so. So sit tight, guys. We'll get this set up. When you actually do a professional StarCraft match like this, you got reps in the game. You got in-game observers. You obviously have the players. So if one thing goes wrong with the PCs, we got somewhat of a hiccup here.
Indeed we do. Well, it's annoying, but It doesn't really matter anymore because we have that recover from replay. Of course, in this case, we don't need it because the game literally just started. No one's even mined any minerals yet. But, you know, it's a nice thing that you don't have to worry about it. Because remember how many matches we've seen where things happen like the power goes out at a finals of OSL or just a disconnect occurs, you know, in a very decisive moment in a game where someone's actually ahead and you have to decide, do we give them the win? What do we do here?
So, you know, it looks like, he's just now dropped out of the game.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be out there.
You make a very good point because when we were doing Starcraft 1, broadcasting that, there were a lot of moments where you'd have a game that's gone on for like 15 minutes and, like you said, the power goes out, or somebody loses internet, or something goes wrong, and I mean that's it. We have to restart. You know, the game, which is really sad because you know the guy might have won, or you know he changed the results of a tournament. But now you know what Blizzard's done with the recover from replay. Let's say we're 15 minutes into a game, a lot of dramatic stuff has happened. We can go right back. We can just go maybe 5 seconds before the game crashed, get it set up, and make it run. So it's really nice to see issues like this being addressed and actually solved here in this phase of esports.
Indeed it is. Well, that's where we're at now, Tasteless. This is no longer the present. This is the future.
Yeah, this is very true. Looks like we have Fantasy now in the game, so JangBi will join shortly.
They're going to be joining. Guys, while we wait for them to join, please jump on Twitter, Facebook, everything. Tell people that actually we're about to see Fantasy against JangBi.
This match is actually...
And after that, we get to see Life versus Kongho.
Kind of weird, actually, because we're only in the round of 32, and we have these two guys playing against each other.
And Life's in the group.
And
so,
these
are all three of these people are actual champions. Multiple-time champions of multiple tournaments. Three people in this group. And Lucira, or Kongho, he's made it to the GSL Finals.
He's a finalist,
so, I mean, he's no one to laugh at either.
No, nobody to scoff at in this group either. So we have both players in the game now. Hopefully we start this up. Why are you laughing at me?
Because you said what I said, way nicer sounding. I'm like, there's nothing to laugh at either. And you said, yes, that is nothing to scoff at either. Like, I'm just bred a level above Artosis.
I'm a pretty sophisticated guy, Artosis.
Do you ride your horse while wearing white gloves, Tasteless?
I do.
Yeah, I bet you do.
All the way to the studio.
Yeah. While I pull a cart with vegetables to market.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
We're almost... I think we're about to start this game. I'm not sure yet. You were so funny, Artosis. So we have...
Well, now I'm your jester. Is that it?
Yes,
okay.
you are. Yes, you
okay,
are.
my liege. All right.
Better a gesture than a clown, Artosis.
I guess.
So, this map, it's a one-on-one map. They know each other's starting locations. I don't think we're going to see any builds that can abuse that fact, but we'll have to see.
Yeah,
these
the
guys
only things you
weren't
could
really
see is
the proxy Rex, proxy gateway kind of guys in StarCraft 1. You know?
No, not as much. The only thing is we could see maybe like a proc circle, probably not. It's almost better to just build on your main, maybe like a proxy factory, but yeah, I don't know that we're going to see either of those. We'll see though.
Well, we'll see again. The game is loaded up.
Oh, and it looks like it didn't work at all.
All right.
Looks like we're just going to reload
This is what our jobs really are, is filling time masterfully like this. Okay, so we're going to get the game started again. I don't know. What was it? JangBi dropped the first time.
Yeah, I think he just dropped again. There's a possibility that we're going to have to...
They might have to swap his PC
They may have to swap his
something.
PC.
Yeah.
Well.
So, as soon as humanly possible, get to casting the game, because that's what we want to do, and that's what you want to see.
Yes.
But sit tight until then. We have to wait and see. I don't know what the technical issue is here.
No
Again,
idea.
we're actually piggybacked off of On GameNet's broadcast, so we don't get the same kind of updates we do when we're getting Codests, for instance, because it's not GOMTV that's actually managing the tournament. So I think shortly, though, here we should get this game going. I think if there's a third drop, they would have to swap out his PC, though.
Yeah, my guess is that they're actually probably doing it now. Like, I would be surprised if they're like, no, just give it another try.
Give it another
Twice
whirl.
he dropped immediately. I think the third time is when he won't drop immediately. It's like, well, I guess so, because computers are just magic boxes.
They are. I believe they're made by Warlocks, Artosis.
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, we don't have them in the game yet. How are you doing today, Artosis?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I've had a pretty good day so far. Had my Korean lesson, saw World War Z.
How was World War Z? I actually have been meaning to read the book first.
Well, the book is amazing. It's one of the best books I've ever read. But what they should have said, because it says in the beginning, based off the novel by like Max Brooks or whatever his name is, it should have said name taken from a novel by Max Brooks.
It's not like the book at all?
No. They both
Really?
have zombies in them, so in that regard,
Well,
it's
you know,
very
it actually kind of
similar.
makes sense because I mean, on some kind of like evil corporate level, like I guess if you know that the book is like a bestseller and it's the best zombie book of all time, all you really have to do is get the rights to the name to get people to watch it no matter what.
They took
I bet you that movie made more money than like the Resident Evils did, for instance.
Maybe. I don't know.
But even though Resident Evil, that's another example. They took the game. The game has almost nothing to do with the game if you actually play the games. But what's the number of those zombie movies?
Oh, there's so many.
There's so many, but now I can't think of any of them because they didn't steal names from another successful franchise. But yeah, it is. It's good marketing.
No, it was a good zombie movie though. Like
so
it was
so it's
good.
a standalone movie. It's
like if it was called something else, I'd been like, damn, sick movie. But
really,
and the thing is, I even went in thinking like, well, I got to make there's no way to make this into a 2-hour movie. This book, there's just no possible. Once
there's
you
like
read it,
so
you'll
many
know.
characters in the book, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, I think I was expecting like a little bit more, like maybe just a little bit more of it being based on the book, like just maybe 1 or 2 of the characters I really liked. Nope, not really.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I'm going to see it yet. I think I'm going to get the book first.
The book is much more worthwhile.
I have a little
but the movie is good.
I have a little micro vacation coming up here where I'm basically going to read books for like 10 hours a day for a week.
You need to do that.
I need to
That's
do
very
that. I need
healthy.
to get on that. I was trying to just read Game of Thrones every time I was on an exercise bike. That is like not a book.
No,
you could just pick up and
you have to like lay in your bed and read that book because you need your whole brain to try to remember all the names.
Yeah, all the names of the characters, and then they have nicknames, and occasionally they refer to them by their last name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, but I think that's going to be another book I'm going to grab.
No.
Have you actually have you read 4 Hour Chef?
Yeah,
Timothy Ferriss book. You read that?
Yeah.
It's a good book.
It is. Yeah, it taught me some really good egg
out.
recipes.
Well, it's good for me because until I read that book, I think the only thing I could cook with was a microwave. I'd probably get myself food poisoning cooking a marshmallow over a campfire. Like,
yeah.
I'd not trust myself near any food.
No,
so.
I would not let you prepare food for me if I was about to die of starvation.
I know like nothing before this about cooking.
You'd put it in the microwave. I know.
It's not 4 Hour Cook. 4 Hour Chef. I think I called it 4 Hour Cook, but 4 Hour Chef.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though. Your microwave, let me just guess, because before I lived with a woman, basically, or my wife in this case, the inside of my microwave just had it was so gross. Like there's food on the sides and the ceiling because I didn't know how to microwave things right, and I was too lazy to clean it.
Well, I've seen you back when you were a bachelor, man, and you were the foul bachelor frog before you.
Yes. Oh, no doubt about that.
Before you got a wife.
Yeah. You don't need to wash those legs, man. Dripping soap.
That's the funniest foul bachelor frog one is take shower. It's at the top and the bottom says doesn't wash legs, and I'm like, I've done that before. I shower. I'm the foul bachelor frog. So, no, my microwave.
What do you want me to do? Bend over in the shower?
I'm no, I'm not going to. That's ridiculous, man.
No one's going to smell my shins today.
So. We're still waiting for JangBi to get in this game. But when he does get into the game, we will cast it if it loads and the game does not crash. Again, we are piggybacking.
Well, here's the thing, right? They have to come up, plug it in, plug all his stuff in, let him get all his settings, let him jump into a game,
this is where they
test his
get the new computer, they get it there, and they're like, oh, we didn't install Starcraft. And they install Starcraft, they're like, oh, it's got to update. So
they're like, oh, this was Wings of Liberty. What did we do? We got to install Heart of the Swarm now.
Yeah, so we don't know. Again, this broadcast is piggybacked off of on GameNet, so we kind of got to wait on them. So we don't have the normal updates we normally get for stuff like this. But hopefully we get this going. It should be a great match. Again, it's going to be a best of one, so no room for mistakes here. No risky. It's not like a best of three. Where you take a certain opener that might be risky, but hey, if it works, I got a free win. If it doesn't work, that's fine. I can try to win the next two. So a lot is on the line here in the round of 32.
It certainly is tasteless. So
we could just talk. We got to talk about anything.
Yeah,
man.
we just. What do you want to talk about?
I was playing on my show on Twitch. You could actually join my Twitch channel. It's Tasteless TV. I've been doing a show called Try Hard.
What game are you playing?
Legend of Zelda.
Which
the original one? The original.
The original.
Yeah,
really
the
fun.
original one.
Really good one.
I actually.
What palace are you on?
Basically, the point of the show is I'm trying to beat all these games I never got around to beating when I was a kid. Like all those hard games back when they made. Well, there's a resurgence of this now, but right around in the PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64 era, it was like every game had to be beatable for a noob.
Yeah.
But like the old Nintendo games are like it was like back when
to actually
they
be
didn't
good.
even really know how to beta test stuff. So I was just playing Legend of Zelda. That game is actually so hard. It's actually impressively difficult.
It's certainly harder than the new ones. Like
it's certainly harder than the new ones, man.
You want to hear actually something really funny about?
What's the one on Super Nintendo?
Legend of Time or something? Or
no, not Ocarina of Time.
I know what one it is. Like I can't think of the name of it. Link's Awakening.
Yes.
Link's Awakening.
Nice.
There's so many of them.
I played that one like 3 years ago, and I mean it's good, but it's not really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's a challenge, but it's not like the Nintendo one.
I'm actually playing Oracle of Seasons right now, which is
really
it's actually pretty challenging. Some of the puzzles I'm like, whoa, this takes me a while.
I feel like that the Zelda franchise is one where you really it translates to so many different kinds of people. You can play it as an adult and get totally into the fantasy of it, or you can play it as a kid and be totally into the fantasy of it.
Yeah.
I've heard there's like some essays somewhere about like Mario and how actually that's so many people can basically relate because Mario is so weird and out there that like
I don't relate to Mario. I like it.
No, but that's the thing is he has like relatability. Everybody can just be like, all right, like across cultures and everything like that. It's like
that's interesting.
He's a plumber with a mustache, so it's like okay, like.
All plumbers have mustaches.
That's a fact. That's part of the job description.
Well, I think
bring a plumber to my house with a mustache and say, you're not fixing my toilet, mister.
I'm going to make something up right now that seems feasible. If you have, like, some perfume on your mustache, you're not going to smell the crap you're cleaning up, literally.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Oh, we're in the game.
No, that couldn't have happened.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so we're going to throw this up on screen and introduce the players. All right, we're here.
Yay!
All right, the game's ready. In the bottom right, we have our Terran legend from Starcraft 1. He is...
Master. SK Telecom T1 Fantasy.
And,
oh no. That's the bad screen.
We don't care about that one, though.
Yeah.
That's
not...
Get out of here, GOMTV.
I believe is that Legends computer?
No, he's on a different account. That could be Heaven Dom. Not sure.
It's not your computer, right?
No, that's not my ID on here.
Okay.
Don't worry, Tasteless. This has nothing to do with English stream.
We're gonna get through this, guys.
Okay, so there's something I wanted to interject there about Legend of Zelda 1.
Yeah.
Because I actually got it way back in like 1980. Something like way back.
Fantasies like, oh my God, I want to finish this game.
Like I got the original gold cartridge and everything.
Yeah. Oh my God, it came with the gold cartridge. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And in the manual, because I was a little kid, and me and my little brother played all the time.
I did. I read all the manuals for all the games I got when I was a kid.
Of course. And there was a part where it says, "Don't beat these palaces like out of order." Something to the effect of, "Don't beat them out of order, or something really bad will happen." And it showed a picture of. Like a drawn picture of a big enemy attacking Link. So for the longest time, are we introducing players?
In the bottom left, we have our Protoss player. He is...
Maybe we aren't.
JangBi.
Master.
Did we already do Fantasy? I don't even know anymore.
I have no idea.
I think we did. Okay, so anyways, let me get back to that.
We've had enough downtime here. My brain's turned into oatmeal while I'm trying to cast this.
So back to that, right?
Yeah.
So it said that in the manual. So for the longest time, we always were very careful to make sure we were going in order because we were afraid a monster would come and get us in the game. We wouldn't be able to beat him.
Oh, that's so
then when I got older and I'd beaten it like 20 times, I went through and beat them in the grossest, most dislodged order ever, and nothing ever came. I was like looking for this monster that I thought existed.
Can I tell you something that's weird?
Yeah.
That's true about me?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know these games where you can like go to different open-end, it's like an open-ended game, like open-ended RPG or open-ended, like Zelda like that. You can basically go wherever you want.
Yeah.
But it freaks me out if I go back to a dungeon that I already beat. Like, I've already beat it. I don't know why, man. I'm like, oh, this is weird. I shouldn't be here. But, like, it's weird, man.
You shouldn't be there because it's a waste of time, I think.
Yeah, well, occasionally I, like, you know, it's like I forgot an item or something. You know, like, tell you have to, like, blow up a wall or something. Get, like, the bow and arrow. Like,
sure.
I'll be playing
that's
the game,
actually,
I'll be like, oh, this is weird. I don't...
That can be very annoying, especially in the newer Zeldas, where it's like, there's a Skulltula I can't get quite yet because I forgot to get the hook shot before I came in here.
Yeah.
Do I go back later? No, I'm too lazy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Reaper
opening versus
Starcraft.
2Gas. All right, so Reaper opening versus 2Gas. Now, there's a few things that JangBi can do here. He can go Zealot, Stalker, Mothership Core and go pressure because there's a Reaper on the way, and probably that'll be followed up by a Reactor, which means very few units at home. It also could mean that he wants to go into an Oracle. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Oracle build. I really prefer that when I'm playing.
He could do something else, but those are the two things that are by far the most likely. And it looks like he's actually just going to go for a quick
Does JangBi have only one on gas at his right base, or does he have two?
I'll check. He had two.
Okay.
Or he might have had one before.
I believe he had one before.
He balances the gas different all the time. But yeah, so it looks like it's just a fast expand with double gas. He'll be able to tech up very quickly from here. Some very nice micro so far.
Actually, this micro is like so good.
He didn't lose anything. Artosis loses a probe there easy.
Easy peasy. All right, so the Reaper is going to get chased out here. Really not much more that the Reaper can do. Oh, he's actually going to go around the Mothership Core. He sent the Mothership Core too far out. I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah. Well, he's getting a sentry out now, too, so that's going to help him to chase this away. I don't think he's going to end up losing any probes, but good scouting. He really wants to know what... Yeah, see, he was going to build a forge, and it's like, oh, you're coming back? No. But this, he's just trying to see what tech there's going to be. And he's saying, hey, plant it or have it be late.
Super smart. Now, I don't think he's going to force field here. There's no real utility in force fielding here.
No, he was not going to kill this. The Reaper always gets away. So.
All right, so we have, again, very ordinary builds here. Terran and Protoss both, fast expanding.
Yeah, and kind of an interesting, very fast forge here. Just one forge, though. It's going to be cool to see what he wants to do with that. Now, he's getting the quick robo, which makes a lot of sense, but because he saw the Reaper, I think that the fast forge, while it might line up into some sort of timing, I think he's just like, well, I can get away with this easily.
Are you kidding me? This is going to get in here again?
Yeah. You know, I say this a lot, but Reaper always gets in for the second pass.
Oh, I'm surprised he didn't. Okay, he didn't force field there. I was going to say, he could trap that.
All right, so you have a starport on the way. And we should be seeing a couple Widow Mines being created. Oh no, more Hellions, okay. Well, that's fine too.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, some Hellion Marine medevac action coming up. And
all right. Well, so far both these guys are playing very smoothly. Looks like he's going to push out now with the Marines and the Widow Mine. Now the Observer should be timed out so that the Widow Mine can't do much more than 1 or 2 missile shots of damage, if even that.
Yeah, this Widow Mine, we'll see if he can actually get anything done. Now this is nice on the retreat path, but really this is what he wanted. He knew he wasn't going to get any damage done there. JangBi would have to be across the map with his Mothership Core.
He's basically forcing the Protoss to use that Nexus cannon, and then he can pick up and drop in the main here.
Yep.
And I don't believe that Mothership Core has enough energy for another Nexus cannon.
Oh.
Can you check for me, Artosis?
Let me check for you, Tasis. No, it does not yet. Now, we do have this drop coming in, and he does have a second Observer, so it shouldn't be too bad. And in the meantime... Ooh, look at that.
That was super smart.
I love
hallucinated. That's so smart. All right, here we go.
He's just got to keep that. Ooh, he's going to get the... Oh, my God, the medevac goes down. A little bit sloppy there, I have to say. You know what? He thinks that that's a real... He thinks that's real, and that's why he actually went through with this. He thought the Oracle was real.
No, it's actually
because if you know he went robo, there's no way in hell you're going to let that die right there.
I can't believe how perfect that that defense was. Oh my God, we just caught the tail end of this here. Alien's doing a lot of damage to these probes.
Yeah, actually, this is the other part of why he went through with it, is the Hellions coming into the front and getting a lot of probe kills. 14. Oh my God.
Really nicely done here by Fantasy.
Yeah, and the fake Oracle turns out got no kills.
Wow. Wowzers.
That's kind of an interesting early game with how this was all dealt with. You know, JangBi with the really quick forge, the very slow second and third gates. He's now lost a lot of probes. He's taking his third. Oh, man. What do you do here as JangBi? I don't like this situation at all.
I don't know, man. I mean, here's the thing, is Fantasy has not missed a beat. Yeah, that drop didn't do that much damage, but it doesn't matter. Killing 14 probes means that drop does not put Fantasy in a deficit right now.
Yeah, Fantasy has to feel good about where he's at, especially that third command center done. There's no possibility of any damage being done by JangBi right now. He has nothing for harassment even. He's literally just walking around with 4 Stalkers. If you see those 4 Stalkers there, I tell you what, you load up another medevac and you send it out. Because that's his anti-drop.
This map actually really good for drops too.
Yeah, very good.
In general. Even the third base, you can drop on the low ground or the high ground, depending on the situation.
Okay, so we have Blink and a Colossus on the way. So this tells us that most likely he's going to stay on Colossus tech. And in fact, he's grabbing a second forge as well. So he should be going pretty heavy Colossus, at least 3, maybe 4, and a lot of Stalkers to try to stop Vikings from killing him.
Yeah. You know, one thing I want to point out about Fantasy from the previous game we saw is that he just does not miss a beat. He was behind in almost that entire game against Life.
Well, this is one of the best Terrans ever in StarCraft 1. And of course, we all know Terran was the hardest race in StarCraft 1, so that means a lot.
Oh, that sounds like something Artosis would say. We got the medevacs coming in here. And it looks like they're going to drop now.
Colossus is here, so not a big deal. Looks like he wants to pick off some of these Stalkers, or maybe even the Colossus.
Oh my God, I can't believe that got away.
Oh my God, he actually got it.
Oh!
Well, that was very worthwhile, I would say, for Fantasy. JangBi's in rough shape, man. He's down 20 supply. He's lost the Colossus. He lost 14 probes. The only really good thing he has going for him is his 2-2 is ahead of the 2-2 of Fantasy.
Yeah. Well, you know, I gotta say he's done. They're both doing a really good job, but Fantasy is just barely eking out a little bit more damage here and here and here.
Yeah.
And
that is the Terran for you.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that when you got players of this level, even these small percentages of an advantage really begin to add up.
Well, here we go. He's going to put on some more pressure here. Quite a few Stalkers. He does have to be careful because he does not want to lose any medevacs.
He is not watching his army right now. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
whoa, come on. What is this?
You know what? I think actually there's a problem with this computer. There's no way. There's no way.
I think
and in fact, someone paused, so there's just JangBi would like the first 2 Stalkers even were very questionable losing those. I think we're going to have to go back and restart before those 2 Stalkers died.
All right.
I can't.
No, because that looked really weird.
Way.
I mean,
there's no way.
Best players in the world, and we saw 1 Stalker get moved. That was like watching somebody play against a computer. You know what I mean? Like
that doesn't happen.
It was just weird.
There's some sort of issue going on here with this computer, the second computer now. Maybe we'll go into a third computer.
All right. Well, I hope they have lots of computers over there.
Yeah.
Solve this problem. Because this is really
eventually they're going to go knock on Fantasy's booth, and he's going to turn around and open the booth and be like, "Yeah." And you'll be like, "Fantasy, we need your computer for JangBi."
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get an update here for you guys on what exactly is going on, because we just don't know.
That there has to be like a keyboard malfunction at the minimum, maybe a mouse, keyboard, something like that. And the thing is, he can't actually lose those units. So yeah, they just actually had him leave the game. So I'm quite certain we'll recover from replay a little bit before then. Yeah. Nothing else makes sense here. If he loses those units, the game is almost over. Like he's already in a hard spot. But to lose those 3 Zealots and 2 Stalkers, like he literally can't even lose that much right now. He's like on the precipice of destruction. Fantasy's macro is starting to get going. He's going to roll him over unless JangBi plays really well from here. So
it's been several computer problems here.
Yeah.
Today,
a recurring
but also
theme.
just as of late here. But we'll have to see. I hope you could see the frustration in JangBi's face here. I mean, this is actually very stressful. I mean, this guy's. But one of these 2 guys gets out of the group and goes on to the round of 16, which is best of 3s for them, which obviously they would prefer to play in since they're so high ranked. And, you know, this stuff keeps happening. Let me tell you something. Momentum, tempo, these are real things that matter in a professional gaming match.
That's true. And if we take a look at this exact situation, I think that this is better for Fantasy than it is for JangBi, this having to restart from here. Because now Fantasy can actually plan out a lot of the game because he's taken no damage, he's dealt a lot of damage. So if he actually has a few minutes to sit there and really ponder in his mind, what do I do from here? I feel like this does very well for him. Whereas for JangBi, it's like, what does JangBi do from here? Well, Tasteless, he continues his upgrades and tries to stay alive.
Yeah.
Because that's
well said.
JangBi's aiming for the very long game right now. Whereas Fantasy, he needs to pull back for a moment, consider exactly where he's at, and start making strategically the right moves as opposed to good micro or good harassment.
Yeah. So we're joining back into this game. And, we should have this started shortly here. Looks like they had to send somebody into Fantasy's booth and just let him know what's going on. But there was some kind of malfunction in the equipment. Because, yeah, I mean, when I saw the first Stalker getting hit, I thought, oh, well, that's too bad. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not looking at his army. And then when I saw the second one get hit, I'm like, what?
Yeah, and then the 3 Zealots, it's like, this is obvious.
Actually never happens with these guys. They're too good. This is not one of these games, not one of these players where the guy comes back, he's like, oh, my army's died. I sure wasn't paying attention.
No, certainly not.
Where'd my army go? They rage quit. This game's stupid. My race sucks.
Oh, my. So, who do you think wins from here, Tasteless?
I think Fantasy's going to win.
Yeah,
I think he's going to win.
I think he has a really good shot. But, you know, JangBi is chrono boosting those upgrades so quickly. But yeah, Fantasy's in a nice spot, especially now that he gets to sit back and think. You know, sometimes when you're in the heat of the game, as Terran, you might just be in the mode of dropping. But if he looks at what he's killed already, 14 probes, a Colossus as well.
Yeah.
And the fact that his third command center is a little bit faster. I mean, that's...
He's got a lot going for him right now.
Yeah, certainly. Well,
all right,
who knows?
Talk to me about something. We still got downtime here.
We certainly do. Well, let's see. We already talked about Legend of Zelda. Really good one.
That's a good one.
Good game. What was your first video game as a child, Tasteless?
It's not a very unique answer, but Mario.
Mario 1?
Mario 1 was my first.
Okay.
I was right at that age where, like, actually, Mario 1 and I guess Duck Hunt.
Oh, yeah, Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt.
Did you play World Class Track Meet as well?
Was that the one? Is that the Duck Hunt where you shoot the clay?
No. World Class Track Meet was those were a bundle game when they were first released.
Oh, really?
Or maybe right after their first release or something. But yeah, it came with Duck Hunt and a game that was like you're at a track meet, a World Class Track Meet, and there's a pad that you run on.
Not any kind of track meet, but a World Class.
Yeah. And there was there was like a mat that you would run on.
I think I know what you're talking about. Dude, whatever happened to that Nintendo Power Glove? Whatever happened to that thing? Was that thing for noobs?
Yeah, for sure that was for noobs.
I don't know, man. I play Starcraft on my Nintendo Power Glove, man.
Yeah, is that right?
Just watch out. No, that was my. Actually, though, to be honest, do you ever play text-based games?
Not really.
There are actually this whole genre of games people don't know about, really. They're text-based because I played
my
Zork.
older brother liked it a little bit.
The original Zork I played.
Yeah.
That was a good one. And then I guess I also played King's Quest.
Well, that's not really text-based, though. That has graphics in it, too.
Well, no, actually, Zork, the original Zork, is a text-based game.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about King's Quest.
Oh, no, King's Quest well, King's Quest also, you type in, like, King's Quest 4.
Yeah, no, I played that a lot.
Yeah,
I loved King's Quest.
King's Quest was a solid.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't like as the recent King's Quests came out.
I didn't play them.
They got King's Quest, I think it was 7, and I'm like, this is just... It's weird because they got Disney animators, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
and they had there was like an open up and it was like singing like it was a Disney thing, and I'm like, this is just really weird. And then like King's Quest 8 was like an action RPG, I think, if I remember right. And I'm like, I'm like, listen, it's a graphic adventure. It's okay. You could just stick with.
Yeah. I actually prefer like the old pixelated graphics. Like what was it, Less Manly or something? Do you remember that game?
What game?
With Less Manly.
Oh.
Was that the name of the guy in King's Quest, or was that a different one? I can't quite remember because I played so many of those games.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's the Sierra game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I can do this. That was the one where it was like he turns into a beast or something, or there's some kind of like vampire thing?
No, it was... it may not have... can't quite remember. Someone will tell us on Twitter. I'm Artosis. He's Call Me Tasteless.
Let us know on Twitter.
We're trying to remember our childhoods.
They'd actually, do you play any graphic adventures anymore? They're actually a lot of fun to go back and play.
The last one I played was maybe like Myst, but I didn't even really like that one that much.
Well, Myst is like a weird game. It's like really weird. Like they don't even really explain like what you're doing on that island. I don't know though. Then again, when I was playing Myst, I was super young, so maybe I couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Appreciate it. But
I didn't really care for it.
Supposedly, one of the best graphic adventures you get nowadays is Walking Dead. On it's Telltale Games.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They remade Sam & Max. You know Sam & Max?
No.
Oh, see, I played too many of these games, but
yeah,
that is actually
you never play too many games, Tasteless.
That's true. That's true. I've played just enough. Just enough.
Just barely.
Just barely enough.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're sorry. We don't know what's going on. This broadcast is piggybacked
we don't,
off of on GameNet.
We want this game to start even more than you do, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
You might be the #1 JangBi fan in the whole world, and you've waited this day your whole life, and we still want this game to start.
You might be there with your JangBi clappers like this at home and your JangBi T-shirt that you made.
Yeah.
But good. We want this to start more than you do.
It's really creative of you to make your own JangBi T-shirt.
That was great.
And then wear it while you watch this on your computer.
Well, hey, way to show your support for JangBi there. So, yeah, we're still stuck in, I guess, what you'd call
purgatory?
Caster hell or purgatory.
Yeah.
So we just have to keep filling time here until this game is ready to go. I don't know what the problem is. Are they all in there? Is Fantasy in there?
They are in the game. They've been in the game a long time. They've been talking about the mouse and keyboard. I don't know every single word they've said, but yeah, hopefully they get this started really soon.
Really soon. That would be great.
Yeah. I'd like to be able to take the subway home.
Yes, no kidding. Well, again, this is our third game today here. The winner does go out of the group to the round of 16. Big deal. That's when it becomes best of threes.
Okay, they're starting.
Oh, we're starting. Okay.
I'm like, I know that Korean word. That means we're starting. Then it started.
Whoa. All right. The game is loading now, and I hope that there are no more technical difficulties right now.
I think we need one or two more.
You know what? Let's make a record here.
I think JangBi eventually needs to pick up his PC and throw it through the window.
Today we're going to make history, okay? Yeah. We're going to cast the match with the most technical difficulties of esports ever. All right, so the game is recovering. So, again, due to Blizzard, thanks to Blizzard, we can actually go back into a game that's crashed. We don't have to restart it.
Yeah.
That's actually just terrible when you have to just completely start over.
That's the most frustrating thing in the whole world.
It really is.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's still recovering. Should be there really soon.
Yep.
Hopefully,
Sit tight.
The players
Tell
are in
your
the right
friends
places.
to tune in here at GOMTV.net.
Yeah.
Do the right thing.
Because now you've weathered the storm of all the technical difficulties, and it should be great for the rest of the night.
It should be good.
It should be.
Please, God.
Please let it be great for the rest of the night.
Yes. All right. It's almost done recovering. So, yeah, I mean, when we before the game crashed, we saw an engagement. We saw that JangBi was not controlling his army, and then he lost most of his army without any micro. Then the game was paused.
Yeah.
So clearly, some kind of technical difficulty. I believe. Okay, now we're in the game, so we should have it started soon.
Yeah, and it's before the part where he lost those units that were at.
Yes.
So I think this is going to be fine.
I hope it's fine. It needs to be fine.
I think they're telling him to check their hotkeys, make sure that's all set.
Yep. Want to make sure everything is exactly like it was before that.
Because something like that, like if your hotkeys don't come back right or something, that can actually just force you to lose the game. The amount of time it takes to re-hotkey.
That's a problem as well.
You ever do that in game where you accidentally set your hotkeys like you? Like grab and then hit the wrong hotkey and you're like, oh.
I had one where somehow I realized I didn't bind a key for Storm. I had changed my keys around.
Oh, no.
And they came and I'm hitting the key. I'm like, no! And I just watched my army die. And then, I don't normally do this, but I was like, something's wrong with my controls. And I look up and there's literally no hotkey for Storm at all. I had changed that to something else.
Yeah. So I use, I'll explain later. We're actually starting the game.
Goody.
Finally.
Goody
Oh, my God.
So, we're back in game. And look at that. They can move their armies around just fine.
Yep. Now, I want to say that was a preemptive. I think that wasn't the best usage of the Nexus Cannon.
Yeah,
I
gotta agree
actually,
with that.
yeah, I'm a little bit sad at that because this is going to open up drop play even more.
Oh, nice!
Oh, that was nice. I like that. That was
JangBi
really
very good with his force fields here.
Punishing him for trying to save that medevac by killing a stalker. He got some value out of that. But yeah, drop play has opened up a lot more now because he doesn't have any more Nexus cannons.
Yeah.
So that is an issue, and in fact, this guy is just going to float around here and watch for incoming drops. He's not going to help out very much against them, though.
All right. Looks like Marauder got all repaired up there.
Now, his second starport is on the way, as well as a Ghost Academy.
And Fantasy's looking
Perfect
very
play.
strong. Yeah.
This is exactly what Fantasy wants to do. Get enough Vikings and medevacs out, because that Colossus count is one below where it should be.
All right. Now dropping in over here. It looks like the Stalkers are now retreating.
And he's doing a lot of damage right now. Just nice
a lot of
blink back.
damage, actually.
Okay, you know what? If he does an SCV pull right now, he just wins the game.
Yeah, if he does an innovation.
Yeah. Like, he's in the perfect spot.
Oh my God, he's actually going to
oh God, this is so painful.
completely wreck these Colossi here.
And in fact, here we go. The other one getting attacked right now. He does have some more Marauders down here on the side. Colossus is doing some damage, but it does get taken out.
I think that's actually it.
Well, yeah.
He can just keep
the supply
here.
is too much.
Yeah.
You see, the problem is he lost a Colossus already. Of course, his economy was hurt early on. But when you go Blink, Stalker, and Colossus, and you don't go at least 3 or 4 Colossus, then things like this can just kill you. He's like doing a little bit too much at once. We've seen this from other Protosses as well.
He's spread himself a little bit too thin.
A little bit trying to get this storm that quickly.
A little bit too greedy.
Because he spent so much gas on other stuff. It's kind of painful. But he does have Storm now, so we'll see if he can maybe hold on. The thing is, I don't think he has actual energy for Storm quite yet. Yeah, and that's too much damage.
That's it.
That's just too much.
So
the game
Fantasy
is
is going to be the first to get out of this group, and after this, we're going to go to the losers match here at ZVZ between Life and Kongho. See who's going to be the first to be eliminated from the group.
All right. So that game took a while to get finished, but definitely some mistakes. Not perfect play from JangBi, whereas Fantasy can't really point out anything that he did wrong, to be honest. He played that very, very well. The Hellion run-in actually even caught us off guard, seeing the whole map. Even though we saw the Hellions and knew that was probably going to happen. But
Fantasy's a tough guy to keep up with.
He is. So, very nice play there by Fantasy. Definitely deserving to go up.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 great games from him today.
All right.
So I think we're going to be jumping into an interview pretty quickly here.
Yeah. And when that interview is ready to go, we'll pass it on over your way. Fantasy looks unstoppable.
Yeah, he's looking very good. And that's yet another Terran going up into that round of 8. Does that give us 4 Terrans in the round of 16, sorry. 4 Terrans so far?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty darn sure it's 4 Terrans at this point.
Got a little tickle in my throat today. So the next match is going to be Life and Kongho. We do have an interview first, though.
Yeah. Life Kongho should be pretty exciting. Life, I do give an edge here. Life, I think he's just a step above Kongho. As much as I love Kongho.
I don't think Kongho's going to get out of this group, man.
Yeah.
You think even if Kongho beats Life, I don't think he's going to beat JangBi.
Yeah,
I don't know if Life can beat JangBi, to be totally frank.
That's going to be a really fun one because Life is so clutch at holding things. Like, who's his rival in this matchup in ZVP? It's Parting. And JangBi's great at his execution. He's great at his attacks. He's great at PvZ. But is he Parting level?
That's the real question. Well, as soon as this interview is ready, we will send it your way. Here. Again, JangBi just trying to do too much. StarCraft is at times a big balancing act.
Yeah, he may have thought that he was so far behind that he had to give that a try, but that window is like really obvious. When you see your opponent blinking and making a lot of stalkers and you've killed a Colossus already, you're going to be able to hit them before Storm. Like, it's going to happen, and they aren't going to have a lot of Colossi to deal with that.
Yeah.
The thing is, then he even had to bring his Stalkers back because he didn't have a Nexus cannon to help out in the main base.
Right.
Which means the Vikings could come in and kill his only 2 Colossus very quickly.
He was picked apart with ease.
Yeah, he was just completely destroyed.
Yeah. All right. Again, this is kind of a bumpy day for us here today.
It is a bumpy day. I feel like this is a dirt road that we're going down in our Jeep right now.
Definitely,
Tasteless.
yeah. No shock absorbers in that
Wear
Jeep.
your seatbelts.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, it's time for the interview. So enjoy.
Swarm will bring the revival of fantasy, and while he agrees that he hasn't shown the best improvements yet, but he can definitely tell that improvement is on its way. He's making progress, and he knows it's not the end, so he hopes to keep developing his skills and honing them to become the best.
근데 결국에는 그 저축 때문에 이긴 것 같거든요.
제가 그 얘기 했는데 저축 때문에 지지도 않나요?
네. 저축 때문에 질 때도 있긴 한데 그만큼 아스트라라는 경기가 많이 나오지 않나 생각해요.
앞으로도 그 스타일이 유지해 나가실 겁니까? 보통
제가
남겨봐야 한 경기 한 번씩 남겨봐야 되는 겁니다.
항상 시즌 들어가기 전에 이건 고치고 가자 맨날 생각하는데 안 고쳐지더라고요.
이기면 되는 거죠.
그럼에도 불구하고 늘 강하면 상관이 없는 건데
So Fantasy saying that he definitely has a curse, but it doesn't actually seem to make him lose, just makes him have trouble in game, and so he's actually kind of okay with it.
그 비협회 이런 선수들이 막 잘하고 이렇게 해도 이신영 팍 튀어나오고 예전에 잘했던 브루드업 때 잘했던 이런 선수 중에서는 이 형만 잘해 막 이랬단 말이죠. 네, 그래서 약간 좀 힘겨웠던 심정적으로 이런 기간들이 좀 있었을 것 같아요. 제 생각했을 때는.
제가 좀 많이 힘들었던 게 기대를 받다가도 갑자기 지고 또 기대를 받다가도 갑자기 지는 게 되게 많았어요. 그래서 되게 감정 기복도 심해지고 사춘기처럼 경기력 기복도 심해지는 거예요. 근데 최근 들어서는
Fantasy says he's struggled a lot, both skill-wise and also emotionally, because he seemed to lose quite a few times whenever there was a lot of expectation towards him and people expecting him to move on or win, titles, and he just couldn't pull through, and so that's affected him a lot in the past. But he's starting to get over that and really just focusing on what he has to do.
자, 그럼 이제 이번 WCS 코리아 시즌 2 옥션 올킬 스타리그 어떻게 여기까지 한번 자유자의 막판 스타리그 오늘도 막판 진짜 아쉬움만 되거든요. 어떻게 컴퓨터에 맞춘 도전을 전개했는데
최근에 이상한 결정을 보면서 많은 생각이 들었어요. 나도 학생을 잘하고 많이 들어갔었는데 나도 결승 무대 해보고 싶다는 생각이 많이 들었거든요.
Fantasy saying, watching innovation on that stage for the finals, it reminded him a lot of when he used to stand on the stage a lot for the finals, so he's really kind of taken that as motivation to bring it back this season. And that's it for the interview.
Well, thank you, Chobra. I'd say Fantasy's got himself a good start.
Man.
Sickest blazer I've ever seen on that head commentator from OGN. Oh my god, that style.
So funny, man. We're going to go into our second match here. It's going to be Life against Kong Ho, formerly known as Lucira. I think Life wins this.
I do too.
I just don't know how.
Well,
Kong Ho,
it's best of one ZVZ. He can do it. Will he do it? It's a little bit hard to say.
Okay, but
well, you know what? Kong Ho is a little bit more used to and likes to use roaches, infestors, things like that a little bit more than Life. Life is more of a Zergling Mutalisk type of guy. And he might have a good counter strategy.
That's a very good point.
Because Mutas are not the end-all to ZVZ
These
anymore.
are two Zerg players that play Zerg versus Zerg very differently. Very differently.
Well, I haven't actually gotten to see too much Life ZVZ lately, so I wonder exactly how he's going to open up. You know, that Spore Crawler buff is still relatively new. People are still kind of toying around with exactly how to play in the matchup now. So, but Life overall, I do consider him a Muta guy heavily. So
I got to agree with that. He likes to use active units that you can just keep moving around. Lings, Mutas.
Lucira is somewhat like that. Not exactly the same. His active units are like normally infestors walk around the map.
Queens making creep tumors.
Yes, hey, that's true, yeah.
All right. Remember, guys, it's a best of one, and the loser is out here of StarLeague Season 2. The winner goes on to play one final match against none other than JangBi in the hopes of moving on to the round of 16. Now, it looks like our game is now loading. So get out there, spread the word. Tell your friends to tune in here at GOMTV.net where you can watch Tastosis, Tastes and Artosis, the Casting Archon, romancing over their favorite game, Starcraft 2, here at GOMTV.net.